All right, Hades. So I'm doing a VOD review here for the Choose game that we played earlier together. Um, I watched it once through, and I think the biggest thing is that you can play faster. You can play much, much, much faster. So I want to take a look at those. Try not to get into the weeds too much. Maybe a little bit positioning stuff. Um, but specifically on the wall, you try to slow things down to make it easier for yourself, and in turn, that makes it way, 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 way harder. Where if you just jumped early and just trust yourself, just use more boost, it'll just be so much easier if you just play with confidence. So I also have the ball chasing pulled up that we can take a look at. So you can see this is the average speed of everybody. You are this dark red one here. So the average percent of max speed, you are just slightly below everybody else in this lobby. Distance traveled less. Your percent supersonic speed is a lot less. Your percent slow speed is higher, which makes sense. And this is a big teller right here. Your percent on ground, 69, nice. But the reason you're on the ground so much more than everybody else is not because you're not going for aerials or anything. It's because you're not flipping as much to gain speed when you can. You're just kind of driving around. And if we also look at the boost numbers, we'll see this right here. Your boost per minute much lower than everybody. You don't be afraid to use more boosts to move around and move faster. When you are moving faster, you are also picking up more boost. Um, you didn't do too many seconds on zero boost. A good job saving the end of your tank. You didn't use too much in supersonic this game, so that's good. You probably grabbed more small pads. Like I grabbed 91, you grabbed 58. I almost grabbed double yours. Um, and that's just because I'm covering more distance total, so that's why I'm getting more small pads. But yeah, so overall, use more boost, flip more speed, I think can really help you out. So let's go back to Rocket League and let's take a look at this game. Oh, and the other thing that I want to talk about a little bit, so your speed, and then also sometimes in choose going back post isn't as good, and it can be a lot better to go front post. So you are playing more of a shadow defense. If we run into those situations, I'll point those out. And then also on your kickoff, I know we're trying to work on your kickoffs. What I would do if I were you is you don't have to boost the whole way through on these kickoffs from here. When you side flip, if you realize that your boost is going to push you too much to the right, I would stop boosting right now and then just orient my car towards the ball. I'd rather you hit the center of the ball than like try to make sure you're boosted the whole time and go to the side. That's why you're landing way over here, because you just boosted a little bit too much. Turned out to be okay though. So I like this. That's a good touch as well. So right there, I don't know if you noticed it. It probably looked normal to you. But look at your boost. Let's watch it in slow motion and look how much you're boosting. It's fine to not be boosting yet, but now you should be boosting up this wall. You should be boosting to get to this ball. You should be boosting to get to this ball. And you didn't start boosting until after you got hit. If you would have boosted the whole way through, you probably wouldn't have got hit, and it would have just been more comfortable if you're just boosting the whole time. So that's the first example. Nice wave dash recover. That's another situation where you win back post. It might have been better for you to go up the wall here. When the ball's kind of in the corner, I know we've talked about this before. This is something I've recently learned that is way better. You can try going on the wall here if you don't have time. Because sometimes, I think what I talked about before is it's kind of good to sit in net here in this position. Because if it bounces out, now you're here to block this. But when you go all the way back post, it makes it way harder. And you didn't have the time to swing back post. So you could have either gone straight to net and try to get into this position, or you could have gone up the backboard and shadowed from here. And if you're here, you would have been able to clear this. And the reason that front post is so good is because the second man of the attackers is usually going to be on this side attacking. So if you can block the ball and clear it to the far side, that's going to be open field for you to work with. And that boost is probably going to be there as well. And you rotate it back post, you didn't have time for it. That's why the ball was awkward and you got scored on. It's good. I don't really know how this one happens because you like are backflipping. I think you're trying to fast aerial. On the ground to air dribbles, you don't need to fast aerial extremely fast. Sometimes you don't even need to use your double jump at all. If what you could do honestly on this ball is just boom it. You can get so much power on this one that you could boom it to the backboard and then follow it up because that's clear. But if you want to start a ground to air dribble, just jump one time into this. Look, you're gonna make perfect contact. Jump one time, let your car make contact with the ball, and then if you need extra height because the ball went too high, then you double jump and follow. If you stay straight in line with the ball, then you don't even use your double jump. You just keep going. So save that double jump to allow yourself to kind of recalibrate midair. That's just a great shot by the opponents. You maybe could have pushed forward on that a little bit sooner. Here's another tip when you're trying to challenge these. So if you know like the ball's too far away and you would normally have to pre-flip, just instant double jump off the wall. Just boom, boom off the wall, and you'll get way more distance when you're going for a ball that's too far off the wall to really hit comfortably. But you still force them for me to make the save. Nice, I like that you take this, hit 50. You get that boost, which is good. You probably could have turned on this and caught this. Like, just play fast. I feel like you have more fun when you play fast and aggro and go for crazy stuff. You get this boost, just go for this ball now. You could catch it, you could hit it off the bounce, and that's why I ended up taking it, because I figured that if you didn't go for it the first time, then you weren't going to go for it. End up missing, we get a goal. When you're trying to speed flip, or even on this one where it's like more of a side flip, you just need to flip a little bit earlier. You go a little bit too far forward. You want to be flipping like immediately. This like right after the boost. Like on this kind of white line here, you need to be flipping by then, which I guess you kind of are, but you just end up going too close to the ball and you land like here. Then by the time you jump, you're past the ball. You want to land like maybe outside the circle a little bit so you have time to jump and then hit the center of the ball. So you're landing too close. And sometimes if your flip isn't quite right, like if we watch your perspective again, here I might notice that I'm going too far. Oh, I guess you did kind of stop boosting. I was going to say you can stop boosting a little earlier, but I don't know if that worked all right. I love this turn here. You could have been grabbing pads as you're turning upfield. Just a little bit, like you would have had 100 rather than 88. I want to look at this again. Like, just trust yourself. You have me behind you. Just go for this ball. You could have just met it as it bounced, and then you don't have to worry about reading the bounce. Now you get a free ball. Good catch. You try to beat. When you're trying to beat around people, once you get here, there's no way you can get an outplay. You can only do like a power side cut, like Flakes does, if you separate yourself from the ball a little bit more. Like you need to be like here. So that way you have a little bit of time to speed up and actually like accelerate the ball to the side and chip it around them. If you're that close, you can't just slowly accelerate into the ball. Like watch how you make contact and then try to speed up. See, you aren't even speeding up yet. And now you're trying to speed up. That's never going to work. They're going to be there to stop it every time. So at that point, once you were kind of already touching the ball, I might have just taken a 50. But if you want to go for that outplay, just swing out wider and then cut. And that's how you're going to make those. I like that you're going to take that shot. I think it was open if you hit it. But I know it was awkward. It was a good try. This is also an extremely risky challenge. You see that I'm literally in their corner because I just got beat. And honestly, I probably shouldn't have challenged there. But once you're in this situation, you want to fake challenge. You want to buy as much time as possible. This is crazy that you actually get past this person, but if he literally just 50s the ball, if he hits it whatsoever, Umensch is probably there to score. So what you could have done instead is you could have... Oh, that's not what I wanted. You could drive at them. Just drive close to make them panic and then turn and go on the backboard so you can cover any shot they might take. And then if they go slow and try to dribble the ball through here, you just turn back down and you challenge here. And that timing difference is going to be enough for me to get back and save something. This is an awkward ball. I don't blame you. But I mean, you could trust yourself to just keep boosting and go for it. I think you'll get better faster that way. Nice, just let him give you the ball. See, there's that same thing. You didn't separate from the ball enough before you made this outplay. Look how close you are. Where if you were like here, and then you turn in, oops, then you turn in, you would actually accelerate this ball this way. And you'd mess him up. But you were just too close to it by the time you tried to make that outplay. It would also help when you're making your first, like you first start this dribble. You get this touch, which is really good. You can maybe even get one more touch around it here to just get the ball rolling a little bit more laterally. A diagonal roll is going to be much better because it's away from the person behind you as well, so they're not going to catch up to you. And that way you can come around it a little bit more, and you have time. You can see what he's doing. When you're rolling directly at him, you can't really see anything, which is also what makes this hard from your perspective. You literally have no idea when he's challenging. This is another situation where you need to buy time. I just committed. I'm flying in the air. I think I kind of got bumped back. But just fake challenge here. You either, or if you are going to go for that boost, you need to make that decision sooner. Like, watch when you start boosting. You start boosting now, after you already got the boost. You, like, made the decision a little bit too late. Good flip there. That's unfortunate. You maybe could have seen it and jumped. But, I mean, it turned out to be an alright play because they went for the demo so they can go for the ball. And now you get another free ball. And I know this is when you're frustrated because you didn't quite get the ideal first touch there that you wanted. Now that's a great touch. And there it feels like you didn't trust yourself. I know he kind of faked you because you didn't hit it. But you just turned to the right for some, or I guess that's to the left on your stick. You just got to trust yourself. And the other thing that can make this a little bit easier, anytime you're going to go for a solo play on the wall and the ball's like stuck to the wall, you're going to want to come at it from an upward angle. So you're going to want to kind of drive under the ball and then hit it up and then pop out that way. That way you'll hit the ball up and you can carry it. Where if you just hit the ball like that, the ball's just going to go forward and you're not going to be able to catch up to it. Oh, he turns around and demos you. And I like that you gave yourself time. You knew you had time to work with. Unfortunately, you got demoed again, but you made the good save. Put it to the corner. You're in a good position there to cover any shot that could have been on goal. I like that. Here's another situation where, like, just keep going faster and follow the ball more. Like, if I were in your position, I'd be following this ball. So I'd spawn, I'd be right here, and you hit your brakes right there. Instead of hitting your brakes, hit power slide, and then I would like be flipping and boosting towards this ball right now to just pressure him. Just don't let him get this ball for free. He has a free ball to take up the wall if you don't do anything. Just be right here and pressure him, and you honestly might be able to 50 him up the wall because he's going to slow down on the wall just like you do. So force him to go fast. And I see that you don't go, so that's why I end up going. But you want to just go up there and pressure. And if you see that you're getting beat, then you can turn up here and pressure from here, just like you saw me do. And if you think I'm there, you can even turn up the backboard here instead of just waiting and doing nothing. There's so many different ways to pressure right there, rather than backing up. And you back up so far, like all the way to back post. If you're not going to go on backboard, the next best position is to be in net looking out. So you can see where the other person, the shooter is, and you can also cover that if they are coming towards net. So that's going to be the better position. You're so far back post that, like, I don't know, it's just hard for you to react to anything. Even if I ended up getting a 50 and the ball falls here, you're just not there to cover it. Or if you're here, you can see that, you can see what that person's doing, and you can attack the ball in an instant. Which is what ends up happening. You can't quite go for it. And they should have scored. Bill's backflip there as well. I wonder what your dodge dead zone is. You could probably increase the dead zone, because I feel like you do that a lot. This is another situation where you go back post, where it might be better to go front post. You also can just follow the ball. When rotating out in twos is low-key kind of bad. So what you should do, even though you're probably not going to catch up to this person, you might, because this person has to round the corner, and if you take a straight line from A to B, you might be able to catch up to them and do something. And then if they get past you, then you play shadow defense from here, and then I challenge and you clean up from here, so you can take the ball the other way that the play is going. So if you were just here, shadowing, I had to dodge that bump, but if you would have demoed me, you would have just taken the ball with momentum that way. Now you're hitting it back this way, which I guess that guy just spawned. But normally you'd be able to take it in the same direction with momentum and grab that boost. But this is still a good play. Unfortunate that the guy caught up so fast. You saw that I wasn't going to force. Nice. You could have gone for a demo right there on that person instead of just getting back idly. Always be looking to get value. I like that. Now here's where I'm talking about you going slow on the wall. You need to jump while the ball is above you and still going up. Once the ball starts going down, and especially if the ball's going down and you're in the same, like, what is that, the y-axis as the ball, then it's over. You're not going to be able to hit the ball. If I were you, I would have jumped right here. As soon as that ball popped off the wall, I would have jumped while I'm below it. You feel awkward, so you just wait, and there's zero chance you're going to hit the ball from now. At this point, you should have just not even jumped and just driven down the wall and tried to catch it on the ground. And I think you do this later in the replay as well. That one was tough because it did hit the ceiling, but the idea is to not wait till the ball's going down. I like that you waited for that. The touch was just a little bit too strong. I like that you went for that one, though. But then you had a good ceiling recovery because you had speed that whole time. I want to see how this one comes better. Yeah, typically when you want to pop it up to yourself, you want to hit it on, like, the corner of your car. Not if you hit it on that front part of your car here, it's just going to go too far unless the ball's rolling directly into you. Or if it's rolling to the side, you want to hit it with the side part of your car. And I want to see your boost usage. Yeah, that was okay. You were boosting at it. And so I want to talk about a few things here. One is your positioning back post, which this time it's fine because you're just already here, so this is going to be the best thing to do. And it ends out working great. The reason you see me, I know you're trying to get this past to me. The reason you don't get it to me is you just jump so early. You don't have to jump until you're right before you hit the ball. You can just like jump and instant flip into this. See how I saved that from front post? And I got possession out of it as well. On this challenge, you want to go, and you change your mind last second. I think this positioning's fine, but you either need to go for it at this point, or you needed to have turned around sooner. Like if this person would have just hit it on net, then they like just score. So if I were you, I would just dive on this and try to take a 50. Just put yourself between the ball and the net, and that person is going to try to hit it at the net, and so you just block it. But you just got way too close before you fake challenged. You probably could have flipped there as well to gain speed. I like that one though. You could be flipping, you could be flipping, you could be flipping, you could be flipping. And you didn't grab a single pad that whole time. You just hoped for the big boost. So there's a few things here on this play. When you have zero boost, you especially need to be flipping because momentum is equivalent to boost. They are an interchangeable resource. So if you just get more, you need to have the speed and be moving around and take wide angles because you can't afford to be moving slow when you have zero boost. And the faster you're going to be moving, the more boost pads you're going to be able to drive over. So you dodge all those boost pads and you don't hit that one. So you need to be flipping that whole time. This boost spawns on you. From this angle, you can see that they are far back and you have the beat on this ball. You can wait for it to bounce. You can try to catch it. You can do a lot of things once you let it bounce. But you jump instantly and you jump so early and now you're above the ball. Once you are above the ball, you can only hit it downward. And the best shots are going to be ones that go from low to high, not high to low. That's why air dribbles are not as devastating unless you flip reset, because the ball's going to be falling and then you're going to dip down and scoop it and go from low to high. And that's why ground shots are so good, because you're going from low to high. It's hard for cars to get up. But when you're shooting like downward like that, it's usually not going to be as devastating. Where in this position specifically, if you would have been on the ground still as it bounced and your car is like here, now you flip and you just hit the ball on the bottom part of it and you're going to launch that on net with way more power. It's going to be way more devastating, but instead we do that. This one does go to overtime, so you get a little bit of bonus content. And that is that other example now of you waiting too long to jump off the wall. You need to jump here. But you wait, and now you jump, the ball's already on its way down and it's awkward. The sooner you jump, if you just jump right here and then air roll your car so the hood of like the hood is facing the camera, at that point it's just like a normal aerial. It's not like an aerial off the wall anymore, and it makes it so much easier. If you just jump really, you can hover, and it would just be so much easier to get that ball. But you waited so long that it made it way more difficult. Good recovery though. I like that half flip. You see how you just have no speed? If you find yourself like waiting for the play, just keep swinging out like wider, and then at the right time you swing in with the speed. So it's all about timing. So you swing in with speed, boom, you could be up for this ball. But you had no speed, so there's no way for you to get to that ball, and now you're just a sitting duck on defense. You still have no speed. Now it's fine because you're catching it. That was a fine try. Again, you can commit a little bit more to the power slide cuts. There's a good direction change here because you go on the side. And now you should keep pushing it because that person's facing this way. You want to flip the play and go around that side and then shoot it. But now you just go straight at them. And going straight at them would also be fine, but you want to take a good 50. You're trying to win this 50. But instead you put the ball on top of your car like you're trying to beat them. If you're trying to win this 50, you would be hitting the ball. Oops. You'd be hitting the ball right here, right in the center, and flipping through that center of the ball. But instead, you're hitting the ball right here. And that's not going to do it. So it's a little bit like your decision is like indecisive of whether you're trying to beat or win a 50 or what. That was one of the first times I feel like I've seen you like flip to gain speed. Again, you're just kind of a sitting duck, and that's why you can't get to this ball. You end up back flipping. Here's another example. You're not boosting up the wall. Even if you were going supersonic here, you always need to be boosting up the wall. Because as soon as you start going up, that gravity is going to start reducing your speed. If you're going supersonic on the floor, you don't have to boost anymore. But once you start going up a wall, you do need to be boosting. So notice how you boost a little bit right there at the end. Just boost that whole way through and you be into this ball. I like that. You maybe could have passed that back to me, but that's okay, 50 as well. And we end up winning because they kind of own goal because it just lands on them. So we take those. But overall, I hope you learned about front post instead of back post when you can, boosting up walls and just trusting yourself, and jumping sooner off the walls. I hope all those things were very helpful. And also there's a lot of added content about power slide cuts, and hopefully that helps you score more one-on-ones as well.